Yeah, yeah. Ming Dynasty, but the game stay the same. Superstitious emperor, I'm the fortune teller with the flame, laying down, sing, baby, watch the play.
Yeah, Ming, she's on wild, superstitious. Crown full of paranoia, got the whole palace shook. Incense burning, consulting the astrologers. I'm his favorite, though, land I sing the mystic with the iron palm. But before the throne got warm, they tested a young god. Unit slid through with the scroll, still confidential. Said opened it now, then he torched it right in front of me. Intentional questions from the emperor, turned to ash in the wind. He standing there smirking like Magic Man, speak where it end. My heart dropped, stomach doing backflips. Sweat on my silk robe, one wrong word, it's the blade to the throat, straight guillotine mode. Emperor watching through the screen, paranoid, eyes glowing. I'm thinking death and a light bulb hit. Nah, I ain't gone. I told him the guys won't speak if the messenger ain't pure. Send another unit, more devoted, more sincere. He bought his superstitious ass, nodded like a fool. Now I'm about to flip the script, watch the master break the rules. Second round, new unit coming, letter in his sleeve. I'm calm now, calculated, plot thicker than thieves. While he bowing deep, distracted by the golden dragon seal. I switched that shit seamless, real letter out, the koi in the wheel. Opened it quick, scanned the questions, memorized every line, closed it back perfect, no trace like I was never on the grind. Burned the fake one in front of him, smoke rose to the sky. And I'm reading the emperor's mind like I'm plugged into the divine. Walk back in the chamber, bow low, voice full of mystique. Your majesty, the heaven spoke, let me drop what they speak. Answered every question flawless, deep like I was heaven sent. Emperor eyes wide, now I'm the chosen, the favorite, the event. From the ashes I rose, trickster supreme. Land out, sing the Wu-Tang of the Ming. Never needed real magic, just the mind of a dawn. Switch the letter on up, now the palace is my lawn. Hey, ghost face shit. Hey, hey. The hustle don't change, whether it's the hood or the throne. Stay sharp, stay smooth, peace. Hey, hey.
Break up the enemy's formations, disrupt their operational methods, alter the rules they typically adhere to, and act against their usual training. By doing this, you eliminate the foundational support, the connection that transforms a group of individuals into a powerful fighting unit. 1. Hardware, the 2018 Bloomberg/Supermicro interdiction allegation. In 2018, Bloomberg Businessweek conducted a significant investigation that revealed a large-scale, real-world hardware supply chain breach affecting U.S. tech firms, such as Apple and Amazon. While manufacturing at subcontracted factories in China, workers from a unit of the People's Liberation Army, PLA, disrupted the supply chain. They physically inserted a microchip, smaller than a grain of rice, onto the motherboards of servers put together by Supermicro. The modified servers resembled typical, high-quality enterprise hardware and successfully cleared all preliminary factory checks. The external product design seemed entirely the same. Nevertheless, the tiny chip functioned as a concealed backdoor, enabling it to modify the core operating system's memory, circumvent security measures, and permit attackers to extract data without being noticed. 2. Business, the 1985 takeover and liquidation of TWA by Icahn. In 1985, well-known corporate raider Icahn carried out a hostile takeover of Trans World Airlines, TWA, which was one of the most iconic and successful global airlines during that period. After Icahn obtained a controlling stake and privatized the company, TWA's public image stayed unchanged. The planes, routes, brand name, and flight schedules appeared completely normal from the outside. Nevertheless, behind the scenes, Icahn methodically engaged in asset stripping to benefit investors and settle the massive debt incurred from acquiring the company. He divested TWA's most essential foundational beams, which included its coveted and highly profitable London routes, sold to American Airlines for $445 million, and compelled the airline to sell its own aircraft and lease them back at steep interest rates. While Icahn pocketed personal gains of over $460 million, TWA was left with a depleted infrastructure and billions in debt, leading to its eventual bankruptcy. 3. Military, the 2014 annexation of Crimea. In 2014, when the Crimean Peninsula was occupied and later annexed, the Russian Federation employed a strategy known as Grey Zone, hybrid warfare to seize control of the area without resorting to a conventional, high-casualty military attack. In the years leading up to the actual invasion, Russian intelligence agencies, such as the FSB and GRU, actively penetrated Ukraine's regional security, military leadership, and political systems in Crimea. They employed tactics like bribery, blackmail, and ideological manipulation to quietly substitute loyal officers and local officials with compromised individuals or double agents. At the onset of the conflict, the military command centers and government buildings were still intact, and Ukrainian forces technically had units present. However, the internal leadership had deteriorated. When local commanders attempted to give defense orders, compromised superiors deliberately stalled communications, severed supply lines, or instructed units to stand down, leading to a collapse of the entire regional defense system from within without a single shot being fired. To turn the strategy of replacing the beams with rotten timbers against deepfakes and fake news, we need to examine the current functioning of social media platforms and news feeds. At this moment, the foundational beams of the internet consist of trust, viral distribution, and the unrestricted flow of content. Disinformation agents attempt to seize these beams by inserting fake news that appears completely ordinary on the surface. Rather than engaging in a futile struggle to block or ban every single fake video from the outside, we can adopt a strategy to create a defensive algorithm. We will maintain the outward look of the viral distribution loop just as it is, but discreetly replace its core structural components with rotten timbers, intended to cause disinformation to crumble under its own weight. This is an overview of how the algorithm operates through several clear and logical stages, utilizing contemporary AI frameworks such as Meta's Stable Signature, Google's SynthID, and C2PA metadata tracking. Initially, we establish the Honeypot Facade. When media is uploaded to a platform, the algorithm does not instantly mark it or remove it if it appears questionable. This approach would only alert the malicious users, giving them a chance to adjust their tactics and attempt again. Instead, the system allows the video or article to appear as if it is being published normally. To the uploader, everything appears to be in order. The facade remains intact. Secondly, we exchange the beams for structural rot. In the background, the algorithm begins to operate on the framework of how the content is distributed. We embed invisible digital watermarks and utilize cryptographic provenance tracking through the open-source C2PA standard. If the content is generated, the algorithm discreetly modifies pixel frequencies or audio waves with tools such as Google's SynthID. To the naked eye, the video appears unaltered, yet the foundational integrity of its truth has been deeply compromised. The algorithm changes the usual amplification metrics. Typically, a post that is highly engaging and controversial is promoted to more feeds by the recommendation engine. However, this algorithm modifies that fundamental principle. The more suspicious media activates deepfake detection, APIs such as Reality Defender or Intel's photoplethysmography-based fake catcher, the more the engine limits its genuine human reach. Thirdly, we initiate the controlled collapse. Rather than imposing a strict ban, the distribution network is designed to gradually collapse under the weight of the disinformation campaign. The algorithm injects synthetic content into a secure, isolated distribution loop, primarily filled with automated content verification bots and sandboxed accounts. The malicious user observes impressive engagement metrics on their dashboard, convinced that their campaign is effective, yet they are merely echoing in a vacant, artificial space. The algorithm employs dynamic context injection. Each time a user tries to share a piece of media, the system integrates the invisible C2PA provenance data directly into the transfer protocol. When the media reaches another platform or a private messaging app, the concealed watermark activates an automatic, unremovable community note or an AI-generated context label. By adopting this method, you avoid participating in an overt, aggressive censorship battle. You preserve the authentic appearance and experience of the open internet while subtly altering the mechanics of algorithmic amplification. When a deepfake initiative attempts to exploit the platform's distribution channels for viral success, the underlying infrastructure crumbles, forcing the malicious players to waste their time and resources communicating with a network of phantoms. A recent notable example is Incident 929 from the AI Incident Database, which outlines a large-scale, coordinated disinformation effort aimed at the German federal elections in early 2025. In this instance, a network aligned with Russia released a highly convincing deepfake video featuring German Vice-Chancellor Robert Habeck. The video falsely alleged that he was colluding with Ukraine to steal 50 precious paintings from an art gallery in Berlin. The creators spread it across platforms such as X, Telegram, and Facebook, employing a vast bot network to generate millions of rapid views and sway voters just before the election. If we deployed our replace the beams with rotten timbers algorithm to handle this specific Habeck incident, the entire crisis would have played out in a completely different way. Initially, when the bot network uploaded the fake video of Habeck to social media platforms, our algorithm would activate the Honeypot Facade. Rather than instantly blocking the video, issuing an error code, or banning the bot accounts, which would simply alert the handlers that they had been detected, the system ensures that everything appears completely normal. The upload proceeds without a hitch. The bot handler's dashboard indicates that the video is live, the file is rendering in high definition, and the first wave of automated bot engagement is being recorded. The illusion of a successful launch remains fully intact. Secondly, the system discreetly replaces the structural beams involved in the video's distribution with decayed timbers. As soon as the file reaches the platform's ingest servers, deepfake detection APIs such as Intel's Fake Catcher scrutinize the pixel frequencies and light reflections on Habeck's face, promptly identifying it as a synthetic creation. Rather than utilizing this identification to issue a public alert, the algorithm quietly modifies the fundamental infrastructure of the platform's recommendation engine. It changes the typical viral growth metrics. Normally, a video that receives thousands of rapid interactions is elevated to the top of trending feeds. However, in our system, a high deepfake confidence score turns the tables. The algorithm allows the view counter to inflate for bots to observe, but it entirely restricts the actual distribution beam to genuine human accounts. Thirdly, the algorithm initiates a controlled collapse of the entire campaign. While the Russian bot networks aggressively share and comment on the Habeck video to manipulate the algorithms, they are actually being directed into a secluded, ring-fenced sandbox network. The bots are primarily interacting with other bots and automated validation scripts in an empty space. Additionally, by utilizing frameworks such as Google's SynthID, the algorithm embeds an invisible, cryptographic watermark directly into the video's data structure as it moves through the honeypot. If a genuine user attempts to download the video and re-upload it to a private messaging app like Telegram, that concealed watermark automatically activates a built-in, unremovable fact-check banner indicating that the media is confirmed as a synthetic fabrication. By using this strategy, the attackers would waste enormous resources in server power, time and money, believing they were effectively influencing a significant European election through a viral sensation. However, the fundamental support of their distribution network was compromised from the very beginning, leading to the entire operation silently crumbling within a digital ghost town. First, grasp what gives your opponent their strength, and then think about how to make them adhere to your own rules instead of those that enhance their power. Separate your opponent in a way that encourages them to operate differently, allowing them to become at least your equal.